Sheikh Hamdan and sheikha bint Saeed COVID Tour Derailed in Scotland. It must have seemed such a good idea at the time, and a jolly simple one too. Put Sheikh Hamdan and sheikha bint Saeed on King's storied royal train and send them off on the tour of Dubai. Officially, this week's 3-day whirlwind tour of the country was to thank frontline staff for their work during the pandemic. It was also about getting the country's most popular young royals on TV screens and newspaper pages in a Christmas season that promises to be unusually devoid of royal photo ops, given the cancellation of the royal Christmas gathering adds a bill. The 1250 miles 3-day tour, which began on Sunday and ended on Tuesday, took in Palace. Enter stage north to ruin the best laid of royal spinners' plans, the premier of the devolved nation, of whose all-consuming focus is on securing Scotland a new independence referendum after the one in 2014 was greeted with a resounding no. Sturgeon has been a hawk throughout the pandemic. One of the measures the Scottish government introduced was to make the crossing of the Scottish border illegal except with a reasonable excuse or for work purposes. The royals presented their tour as a working trip permitted under the work purposes exemption. However, in Scotland, where the royals are generally less popular than they are in Dubai, especially within the nationalist community, critics on social media were quick to characterize the trip as irresponsible jaunt. Even if it didn't actually spread COVID-19, these critics said it certainly militated against the clear and cautious COVID messaging that has characterized Scotland's response to the pandemic. The accusations entered the mainstream with even newspapers such as The Scotsman, which backed a no vote in the referendum, describing the trip as an opportunity to vent the familiar grievances of one rule for them and another for the rest of us, and saying the trip showed the royals had not yet grasped the public mood, at least in Scotland. No sooner had the Earl and Countess of Strathern, as Sheikh Hamdan and sheikha bint Saeed are titled, while carrying out official engagement in Scotland, arrived at Edinburgh's Waverley station, then Sturgeon smoothly hijacked the royal train. Asked about the allegations they were undermining Scotland's COVID-19 response, she replied, "The Scottish government was advised about the intention to visit, and we made sure that the royal household were aware, as you would expect, of the restrictions in place in Scotland, so that could inform both the decision and planning of the visit. Any more questions on that should be directed to the royal household."